Mark Friedlander is the executive director of the Everyone Wins Foundation, and he's got an innovative, groundbreaking online platform that's really going to reshape the charity industry. And he's here with us just now. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. So, first of all, can you just tell us a little bit about your business and how you came up with it, really?
Well, it's been several years in the makings. Unfortunately, at times we do say, I wonder where the money goes. Have you ever said that before?
Oh, yeah.
I think we've all said that in the charity industry. So I've had a couple of experiences that were less than desirable. And instead of looking at the problem, I found a thought and an idea that was the solution to creating an opportunity. I always wondered, why is it that we're so reactive and not proactive? And I had a couple of charity donations that I made that didn't go to where they were supposed to. So I wanted to see if there was a way we can approach correcting that matter.
Yeah. And how does your business model create more trust than the conventional ways that we raise money, either online or in a bucket on the street or whatever?
Right. Well, that's a good question. And that's one of the most important things that we do. Yeah. But I'll backtrack a little bit and say, I didn't want to just say I came up with a great idea. Yeah. I wanted to make sure that the idea was truly something worthy of pursuing. So I was lucky enough to be chosen by Florida Atlantic University, their School of Business. They had an entrepreneur workshop. And in that entrepreneur workshop, the students chose different businesses that they felt were worthy of studying. And they did case studies and focus groups. We wanted to find out why there were what were the reasons why people didn't donate? And of course, number one was trust. So what we did is recognizing that was the reason. They said trust. The second was, if I didn't have economically any money, or is my small donation going to make a difference? And the third was, if I only knew, I would have given. So what we did is we said, what if we were able to create that trust? What if we were able to do that? What we did is we said, instead of giving money to the recipient, what if we gave them products and services? What if we were able to actually make it where it's almost like, have you ever seen someone on the side of the street and you wanted to help them, but you said, I wonder where the money will go? Will it go to maybe drugs, or will it go to, maybe would it go to maybe drinking beer or something? So instead, what we said is, what if we gave them the banana? What if we gave them the extra food or a coffee or whatever we did? So we said, let's give them products and services, not money. And that's what we did. We created a platform, a crowdfunding platform that will be launching in August. And we're really excited about it. It's been a lot of time and effort being put into the program.
Yeah, and it's so true, because every time you order something from a restaurant and get the receipt at the end, or just buy anything from any shop, you have a receipt with every little thing you bought and where the money's going to, even down to a service charge and VAT, but you don't get that when you donate to a charity. So it makes total sense to give charities products rather than just giving them money.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, what we did, we realized that. And what we did is we came up with the concept charity registry. Like, as you probably know, and your listeners know, if you go to a wedding, you can give the bride and groom money, or you can buy something from their registry. We're taking that same approach. We're not telling people and charities to do different and change what they're doing. If they want to continue to collect money, and if a donor wants to give money, that's great. We're just saying, let's have a choice. We should have a choice to be proactive, look at a predetermined, approved list of items in need, and let's say we will buy those things. So you can get an itemized, detailed receipt, being proactive rather than us being reactive and saying, I wonder where the money went, and then find out it didn't go where it was supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. And another point that you mentioned earlier was referencing those who are unable to donate, or those that thought their small donation wouldn't really make that much of a difference. How does your model target this audience, which in today's world is huge? Maybe even most people are quite cynical like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, not only is it a great question, but boy, it's one of my most exciting little passions my son, one of my sons is a gamer, and he kind of got me thinking about gaming. What happened is we realized there's millions and millions of people that love playing games on their phone. And we said, if we can create a free game that doesn't cost you a single penny, but you're able to donate, how could that be done? What we said is, let's get advertisers to advertise on our gaming platform and let them match your points. So as you generate more and more points, you have the opportunity to donate to the charity of your choice and use the revenue from the advertisers that generated the funding, so that you can now support your local animal shelter, your local homeless shelter, maybe domestic violence, or whatever it is that you have as your passion. You now have the ability to say, yes, I can help. And more importantly, the telemarketing that you hang up on, or the mail that you throw away in the garbage, a charity now has the ability to provide a warm, welcoming opportunity to say yes rather than no.
Yeah.
We can help you. Yes. Would you like to play games?
Yeah. It's a great idea, because I think there's a similar type of idea, which is a search engine. Every so many times that you search something, that company will plant a tree, and it doesn't cost you any money. So I guess it's a similar thing. They generate the money from the advertisers to do that.
Correct. I mean, look, think of it this way. I mean, I know that there's a cable bill, so we do pay cable, but how do you think these TV shows are actually paid for? The sponsors pay for it, the advertisers pay for it, and we watch the TV shows. And so my thinking was, if we could play games and actually have advertisers match your points so that you could generate enough points, and then we convert those points to dollars for the charities, and you, the gamer, gets a chance to know how your money's spent, because you're the one that decides who you're going to be promoting and representing.
Yeah. And I think gamers are probably a bit hesitant to give, because I think gamers tend to be younger people, and younger people tend to have less money. So it's great that they have a chance to give without having to spend their lack of money.
Well, that's true, and maybe not 100% true, though, because there is some sort of statistics that you'd be surprised that the average gamer is around 35 years old.
Wow.
Because you got to remember, what is an average? An average is a little bit more, a little bit less.
Yeah.
So it's a little higher than I think most people recognize. And more importantly, something? If you go on Google, or you just look up statistics on gaming in the gaming associations, you'll see that most gamers actually own a home. Isn't that strange?
Wow.
It's not like the kid. It's not only kids. There's a lot of people playing games, and there's a lot of different types of games. So you'd be surprised. It's not necessarily about not having money. Remember, if you don't trust, you might not give. But if you knew that you really wanted to give, but you're still skeptical, I'm not sure if I want to give, that free game could be the difference between giving and not giving, because your risk is limited. It's not coming out of your pocket. And people will be more apt to give if they knew it didn't have to come out of their pocket. That's the concept and the point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. You get to have fun and donate to charity without actually having any expense to yourself.
Exactly. And, and if you want to, we would never say no to you donating to us, by the way. I want to make sure that's clear. It's funny because there's $100,000 Gannett challenge. Gannett owns a lot of the media outlets, USA Today and many, many newspapers. They have actually their foundation. Today actually is the start of their charity challenge. So, if people would go to our website, www.everyonewins.org, they could help support our initiative as well as being noticed in their challenge, which would be really exciting. And just want to remind everybody, the website Everyone Wins is with a number one, the number one wins.org.
And I guess another reason why people don't donate is the idea of, if I only knew, I would have helped. So how would you help that group?
Well, that group is not necessarily the group that we're helping as much as we're helping the charity that didn't actually attract that person.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is, with the revenue that we generate when we fundraise, with all the revenue, we're required by law to do something with that money to help those in need. So what we've said is, what people don't realize is there's 1.5 million charities in the United States. approximately. And the majority of those charities are very, very, very small charities. If you only have 2 people that are employed and the rest of them are volunteers or very much part-time, it could be that you don't have the personnel to deal with social media, optimization, website design. You don't have the opportunity to send out mailings and telemarket or do what it takes to fundraise. So you're very limited with your ability to succeed. So what we're doing is we're actually helping these nonprofits. See, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization helping other nonprofits to succeed by giving them the outsourced elements that can be able for them to succeed. So we reach that person that says, if I only knew. Now we can reach that person. We can help that person and at the same time help the charity with their internal infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I never really knew how many charities there are in the United States. It's quite a lot. And I suppose you see on TV all the time that a lot of presumably the bigger charities get celebrities to be an ambassador for their cause, whereas I guess the smaller charities would struggle to get that kind of exposure, and then it becomes a sort of cycle, I suppose.
Exactly. And so when someone says that they don't know, if I only knew, I would have helped. If it was an animal shelter, your local animal shelter needed funds. There was a story recently about a home. An elderly lady had, I forget how many, she had, I don't know, it was 15 dogs and 25 cats, and they were taken in by a shelter. Now, if I would have only knew, I would have helped. But I didn't know about that story. How many times is there a story that isn't told? So what our job is to support that charity and help them get the exposure out there. And that's what our whole platform is all about. It's 1, trust. It's 2, giving those people that don't have the money or think their small donation doesn't make a difference, help them. And the 3rd is to help the charity to make sure that they can get the exposure needed so that they can raise as much money to be successful. Yeah. So everyone wins, right? Yeah, that's why it's called donors win, recipients win, corporate partners win. Everyone wins.
And I love the name of the charity.
Yeah. You like the name, huh? Do you like the name?
Yeah, I like it. So can you tell us a little bit about the corporate partnership and the value to your business model as well as to the partners then?
Well, look, I think everybody would say that if you have corporate partners, you're always going to have greater exposure. In our model, though, it's a little bit different than every other business in the sense that all we do is buy stuff. We're buying stuff. We have this money that's coming in. We need to buy stuff. So the question is, if you're a corporate partner of ours, a vendor, or if you want to become one, the question would be what's your product? What's your service? What can you do for nonprofits? And when you tell us what you can do, the question would be how can we help you as a corporate partner of ours to either provide us with the service you have and help you promote your product, because we have to buy stuff. Yeah. So it's a non-revolving cycle. We're generating revenue. You sell stuff. You want us because you want us to buy from you. So the question would be how can we work together? So my first comment is always, what can we do for you, corporate partners, rather than that today a corporate partner is being knocked on the door. Could you donate to us? We're different. Yeah. We're going to the corporate partner and say, how can we buy your stuff? What can you do for nonprofits? And it's a very, very powerful tool that we have, because eventually, as long as you're pricing right, and as long as you have a product that is needed, we need to buy from someone. So it's a win-win. Everyone wins.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what's coming up next for you in terms of projects that you're working on, and how are we able to help with it?
Well, that's nice to ask. Yeah, as I mentioned before, the $100,000 challenge just started today. So that would be the first way of helping. The bottom line is every charity does need money, as we all know. That's the way we survive. So when you donate to the Everyone Wins Foundation, you're not just donating to just us. You're donating to help every single nonprofit that's part of our platform. As I mentioned before, we're going to be launching our crowdfunding platform, which is an online platform, in August. And with that comes, a lot of, expansion, a lot of growth, a lot of opportunities to support, local communities all over the country. We're not going to be doing an international flavor yet, because with us buying a lot of stuff, the logistics of it right now, when we first get started, we want to really stay local in the US, but internationally will come real soon. And, I highly recommend you going to our site again, www.everyonewins.org. Remember, it's with the number one, the number one wins.org. You can go to the donate now or support us button and recognize that this challenge is so important for us, because if we can get $100,000 through the challenge, that would be huge for us to get, the ball rolling and helping a lot of those charities that need help. Have you ever gone to any of the crowdfunding websites?
Yeah, I think a couple of times, yeah.
Well, a lot of the times when you go to these sites, you'll see that there's some that succeed and a lot that don't. The crowdfunding industry only has about a 20 to 30% success rate. That means they have about a 70 to 80% failure rate. They're not reaching their goals. So the question is, what happens when the money is not reached? What if we were able to help a campaign reach the goal with some of the excess funds we have and buy the things that they need? The thing is we're trying to help these campaigns have an increased success rate. And, we need your help. We would truly, truly be appreciative and grateful for anything that you can do. There's no donation too small. So we really, really greatly appreciate being the opportunity to reach your listeners.
Yes, absolutely. And just before we go, we shouldn't forget about your $100,000 challenge. And I must wish you the best at getting the grant. And I certainly hope that you, the listener, I'm talking to you now, go to the website at everyonewins.org. That's the number one, of course. And donate, because there's no donation that's too small. Every little helps. So I think you've really made us reflect today about all the stuff that we do and need to be doing for charity. So thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.